What's up, plebs? It's the world champion. No, sorry, I got that wrong. It's the two-time world champion, actually. Back to back in the building. Anyway, it's actually Monday. I got home like not too long ago. I've slept 2 hours on a flight, but I do owe you guys a video. So you know what? I'm just gonna make a quick video. I'm gonna do this without the editing of Corvus the God. He's gonna be back in the next video, but I just want to make sure that we're actually on schedule. We might make a bonus video this week to make sure that we still stick to having him like involved in it. We'll see what happens. Depends. I'm gonna be doing my victory stream going forward, so I'm sure we'll have some good moments anyway. Anyway, so for those of you that didn't know, the World Championship just happened. We just won it. Ease. There's my baby right there. Anyway, so I didn't really stream going in stream Mesmer before the World Championships. I was keeping a lot of things to myself, and I made it clear that I was doing that on Twitter, on social media, and whatnot. And I decided now that the event is over, I'm gonna show you guys a couple of tricks. Basically, things that I didn't want to actively do on my stream because I didn't want other people to start picking it up themselves. Um, every bit of an advantage is, I'll be happy to have it, right? So I figured I'd show you guys 5 different techs the some of the text, right, that I've basically been trying to keep to myself. Some of them you might know. Like if you've been a mesmer for a while, you might know some of them. Some of them you might not know. Some of them you might not incorporate in your play well enough. I'm going to mention some ways you can do that, and that's just going to be the video of today. So it's going to be an instructional video. It's going to be a tired video, but we got it in the building. So I'm going to start with the less obscure ones, and we're going to become like more obscure the further in we go, right? So we're gonna start with an obvious one, right? Like this one most people know, but we'll still gonna do it. So Blood Frenzy, good skill. So let's take a look at Blood Frenzy. If you guys don't know what it does, makes you invulnerable or evading rather, and you do damage during that cast, and then it goes on a cooldown, and that's basically the skill. Now, a really important way you can actually use Blood Frenzy, which I make high use of in Mesmer v Mesmer, which puts me very much ahead in that matchup, that people didn't really do to me in the finals, and it's really abused by me, is the first evasion frame coming from this. As you could see there, you get a quick evasion frame, and this is actually a real frame. And then you stow it, and as long as you stow the weapon before the actual attack goes out, as in the damage tick, you basically put this on a 3-second cooldown. This basically means that in Mesmer v Mesmer, when the enemy Mesmer is like doing a shield 4, it's a very easy timing to generally hit, so you could just do this to avoid it. This also works in a lot of matchups, like in the warrior. Like if you're running out of evasion, all that stuff, you need to dodge an F1, but you don't want to use all your evasion, then you can do this. Requires some awareness, but it's just a really good way to have more evasion, right? So that's the first one. And like I said, it's not too obscure, right? Like we're starting off light. We're starting off light in the building. We're gonna go for the second one. This one, I believe that all high-level mesmers know, but you guys might not. And the less you show, the better, right? And it's the aftercast in conjunction with continuous split. So basically, every spell in the game pretty much has an aftercast, right? And there's different ways you can play around aftercasts. Aftercast, if you don't know, it's basically the dead time after you've cast a spell, but there's still a hidden animation being played, so you can't sequence a new skill. A good way, I'm gonna show a good example of aftercast, right? It's on Greatsword, right? So when you attack, you will see that after the third tick, this weapon is still attacking, right? Like there's a small part of this that's still attacking. So theoretically, you could just increase your attack speed by stowing the weapon, right? And that's basically the principle of aftercast and how you can use it in your favor. Now, a really interesting mechanic with continuous split and aftercast is that you can actually do it. You can use the aftercast in the animation for you. So an example of this is like if you're trying to MOA someone, you continue splits. Now, when people see continuous split, they instantly think MOA. But a good example of what you can do, like if you're stealth playing some power build, or if you're just in LOS, you can do something along these lines. So let's say I'm 1v1ing this guy, right? I'm hiding in LOS. I'm gonna blink out here, and then after I cast the MOA, I will continue split. And because of the aftercast, despite the fact that I already finished the cast and it wasn't during it, the aftercast still qualifies as me casting the spell, which means that it's still not too late for me to continue split. This can be used in many ways, and it can also be played around in a lot of ways. So another example of this is when you do heal well, there's an aftercast attached to heal well. However, if you heal well and instantly store weapon or weapon swap, a good way to cancel animation, you can then continue split back, you will cancel the aftercast of the heal, making sure that you can instantly heal and then heal again. Because normally, if you try without any aftercast of stowing and all that stuff, you just do heal, continue split heal, you will see that heal is on full cooldown. So that's one, and that's two, right? We got two in the building. So let's get a little more obscure, shall we? Let's actually get a little more obscure. So this is something that I actually personally didn't know until not too long into the World Championships. I found it out before others, and I actually accidentally leaked it through my stream. I blamed Rase because he was like talking about it, and yeah. Anyway, so basically, Shield 4. Now, some of you guys that have seen my duels versus Rase, you will know how much the Shield 4 impacts the duel for Mesmer. Basically, clone generation is Chrono Phantasma, right? Like it's everything about this build, the Common Mesmer, is built around clone generation. So if you can theoretically deny clone generation, then you can just have a big advantage in the duel. So people just learned how to dodge the Shield 4 and evade it properly. Basically making sure that this thing doesn't spawn, because when this thing spawns, then, well, let's say I have two clones, he spawns again, I have two clones again because illusionary reversion, and then I have two clones again. Well, this will be a Face of Cheat and Phantasma Warlock. And basically, you just keep constantly have clones out. Now, if you dodge that first Phantasm, then I would already have so much less clone generation right there. So, fun thing I just noticed while randomly playing is that skills that don't have skills that have a multicast function in them, right? I'm going to see if we can find skills that have a multicast function in them, being that they do one thing and at the end of them they do another. They basically act as in two skills built inside of one, if that makes sense for the mechanic. So you look at Debilitating Arc, right? I found this a really long time ago, and this is basically what made me think of the Shield 4 thing as well, which is basically what it does is that you hit and then you jump back. And these are two different functions. You hit and jump back. You don't do them both at the exact same time, which means that theoretically, as you can see there, I can hit jump and he will hop back on his own. Basically, the second part of the skill, the second skill gets queued up. And what this basically does is that it changes the timing of the effect. Now, on this skill, it's pretty much worthless, you know? It's just pretty much worthless. However, Shield 4 has the same function, right? It's a block, and then at the end of it, it casts a shield. It casts a phantasm. So following the same logic, you can actually trick the opponent if they're planning to dodge your Shield 4. You can actually trick the opponent with when he spawns. Now, if you try to dodge at the end of my block here, it will be too late for you, and he will spawn right after your dodge. This is how I was able to kill Mancow in my duel versus him, as he was trying to dodge my Shield 4 Phantasms, but I would still keep spawning them, basically giving me enough clone generation to kill him. So it's huge, actually. It's absolutely massive. I showed you guys a really good way of how to deal with the Shield 4 earlier. With Blood Frenzy. However, if you jump, then this thing doesn't actually counter it, right? All of a sudden, you don't counter it anymore. So it creates a whole different level of mind game, because now when you're approaching the duel, whenever you feel like the opponent's going to dodge your Shield 4, all you have to do is jump. All you have to do is jump. And when you jump, you'll get the Phantasm out. If they try to dodge at the normal timing, you'll get the Phantasm out. So it becomes a mind game battle. You will jump, but then maybe they will know that you can jump, and they're just not gonna dodge until the end of it, and then they just dodge, and then you just jumped. They can hit you while you're in the air and all that. They can hit you right after the cast, rather, when you land, and then dodge at the same time. Like you get an attack and they dodge, and they get some damage out of it. A really important point of counterplay is observe. Now, you will see that I don't spawn a Phantasm, and this is because I just ignored the casting of the Shield 4. The queued up skill of the Shield 4 just got ignored, because I queued up a new skill, so I cancelled this hidden activation of spawning the Phantasm. The reason why I show this is because, one, don't spam attacks after you jump, because it's going to cancel your Phantasm generation. Two, something I did versus Misha on Force, because he knew about the jump, he found out about it, and he tried to do it versus me, is that I knew that he was going to do it, because like, he hadn't done it for me yet, and I knew that he knew how to do it. So I was waiting for him to go for this jump, right? And the second he was blocking, I was standing back, I wait for the jump, and I just go in and I daze him. Now, Daze interrupts your action. Even though it's a hidden action that isn't shown on screen, it's still interrupting the queued up cast. Which means that if you daze the opponent when they're casting their shield 4, after they've jumped, then they will not get the Phantasm. This applies to any CC. If you can interrupt their action, you're going to interrupt the shield 4. And then, so that's a pretty cool trick, right? That's a pretty cool trick. It's absolutely amazing in so many matchups. It's changed a lot of matchups for Mesmer. So definitely practice. You have to practice that. You have to practice how to face it and how to play with it, because matchups completely change off it. Mesmer can actually fight Druid just because of this thing. Because normally Druid has too many evasion to actually avoid your shield 4, but now they can't. Finally, we have one. I've actually done this for a while on stream and all that stuff, but I see that other people don't really do it. It's just optimizing gameplay, so there's no reason to not do it. And it's if you're fast enough, basically phase retreat spawns a Phantasm, right? And it ports you back. Now, the way this works is that you can theoretically, you spawn this clone and then you port, okay? Now, I know it says the different order here, but basically this is how it works. This guy spawns and you port. There's a millisecond of a difference, right? But this is how the logic of the cast sequence works. The reason why this is so important is because it means that if you're fast enough, it means that you can do a shatter before you port away with the phase retreat. So if you look at this, now what just happened here? I didn't get a Phantasm over here. Both my Phantasms spawned right here. This is my notes. I'm a tryhard. Both my Phantasms spawned right here, right? And they instantly shattered. This applies not only to Crowd Frustration, but it also works for Mind Wreck, of course. But I'm going to do it with Crowd Frustration, because why not? So this is just a way of maximizing your damage. It basically means that whenever your phase retreat shatter and you're close on an enemy, you get one extra shatter. This is really good when you're cleaving. It's really good when you're spiking. Like, an example of this is, right, I'm going to show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the Warlock. We're going to blink in, and then we're going to do the burst. Like, it's not too much. What's up? Hi, Lord Lucy in the building. So we actually fucked up the timing of it, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm actually tired, so that's fine. You know the logic of it though, right? Like I'm not gonna repeat it endlessly because I'm too tired for that. But basically, you can port in. You can port in. Spawn a Warlock to make sure you time the Warlock for when you port in, and then shatter. And you can get 3 clones basically. You get yourself, you get the clone from the phase retreat, and you get the Warlock. A 3-clone shatter from nowhere. Now, if you normally didn't do it, well then you could at best get the phase retreat. You know, you get the phase retreat clone, but you don't get yourself. The whole point of this is that you can shatter the phase retreat clone as well as yourself, right? As you can see, it's 2 shatters in 1. It's really good. You can do it with days if you need to interrupt something. You get an extra interrupt. Like, so much value from this. Now, tip number 5 that people didn't know about how to play Mesmer and all that stuff that I didn't want to show, and that's just being me. So as you can see here, I'm just being myself. I'm just being the champion, just being the greatest. So if you can learn how to be me, your Mesmer is going to improve. Now, if you can't be me, I mean, maybe warrior is more to your liking, plebs. There's always going to be a difference between peasants and kings, and I'll see you later.